Okay, so hey everybody. I love how we fake say hello after we start recording. Um, Welcome to tonight's class. We are going to talk about vision casting and system setting. So I'm going to screen share with you guys because I made a handy little PowerPoint today, which I guess is something else I did today, Esther. I made a PowerPoint.
Very good.
So welcome to our class all about vision casting and system setting. So what we're going to do is talk about the importance of setting vision, how to set your vision, how to write out your goals, and how to actually put them into action steps so that you can carry them through to live your best life. So here we go.
So I just want to say thank you guys for joining us tonight. And if you've got oils with you, put them on. Hannah and I oiled up before we got started, and grab a pen and paper if you don't have one already. So first things first here is the first thing we need to understand is that the only way we're going to change our world is if we change first. And we need to be willing to admit that our life is our own responsibility. So what that means to me is, and this may come across, I don't want this to come across as insensitive because this applies to me as well in my own life, but I'm responsible for my life. Hannah's responsible for her life. We're all responsible for our own lives, and we can't blame other people for where we're at, because as adults, we can take responsibility for our own decisions, our own actions, and if we aren't happy with something, we can change that. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight: how to shift to achieve those goals and be successful with the things we have on our hearts. So we have the power to make better choices, and we have the power to create a better future for ourselves by growing ourselves, which is exciting. So if you ever face something in your life and you're like, I don't really like that part, or that's something I can do better, then do it. Make little changes every day. They say that insanity is doing the same things every day but expecting something to change. So if we want to see a change, let's make little tiny changes every day to do better and to just achieve these goals that we have.
I like it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about why it's so important to set a vision, why it's so important to forward think and have goals. And so I wrote out a couple of points here. When do you build a house? You don't start building the second you're like, oh, hey, I'm going to build a house. I'm going to start hammering boards together. You don't start until the blueprints are drawn up. Then you actually have a plan and you know where the boards are supposed to go and what is actually supposed to take place in which step. When do you do a puzzle? You look at the box first for direction, unless you are like a reckless puzzle doer. But I am not. I need to look at the box. I need to have a little heads up so I know what to do. I can't. Rebecca's texting me, sorry. So when you take a road trip that you've never been before, you look at a map first. You don't just, take off on the open road and then hope that you're going to end up in Texas. You need to know how to get to Texas and the corners and the ways you're supposed to go. So if you don't have clear vision for your life, for your road trip, you will get lost, frustrated, and far away from where you need to be. Vision helps keep us on a clear path. It keeps us motivated and excited, and it pulls us out of bed in the morning. It makes you want to move forward. It makes you want to get up and do the things. And vision is amazing for helping us do that. When you encounter difficulties, vision will keep you focused and moving forward. And I know that we've talked before about finding your why and comparing your why to the ship that's leaving the harbor, and how the captain and the crew need to know where it's going. They need to have it mapped out, all that stuff. And that's kind of like having your vision. You need to know where that ship's going. So if it gets tossed about in the sea, back and forth, if there's a storm or wind, you can reset and realign so that you know where you're going.
So all leaders need vision, and like Hannah talked about, is if you don't know where you want to be, how are you going to know what steps to take to get there? So it's important to set the compass in the direction that you want to go. And so as Young Living business builders, and I know for myself, my compass is set on Royal Crown Diamond. And I know that I need to keep doing, I have to commit, I need to consistently do the steps to get me to Royal Crown Diamond. So that is where my compass is pointing. And so as Young Living business builders, we need to know where our compass is pointing. And so sometimes we need to kind of assess where we're at and decide if are we going in the right direction. And as business builders, we're going to hit easy patches, we're going to hit challenging patches, and the key is not to give up. Remember why you're doing this, because some days are going to be harder than others, and it's those days where you need to remind yourself why you want to do this. And leaders know how to influence people, and that they must influence themselves first. So when we're talking about being responsible for our lives, being responsible for what our life looks like, you know, we influence everyone in our life either positively or negatively, and we hope it's positively, but it's important to be aware of what kind of influence we have, and that we can influence ourselves. Who we are today, we don't have to stay that way, which is an amazing, exciting thing about personal development. Personal development is so key in this business because there's so much to learn along the way. And we say we grow as we go, which is key to personal development. Listening to podcasts and audiobooks and just listening to people talking who've gone before us, the people who are influencing our lives. So if you feel like take an assessment of who you have in your circle, and are they influencing you to achieve your goals? Are they influencing you in positive ways? Sometimes we need to readjust who we have in our circle. Are they helping us get where we need to be? And so when you know where you're going and your vision is clear, people will not only follow you, but you're consciously giving them permission to do the same in their own lives. And one thing that's key with this is be a leader that people want to follow. Are you the leader that you would want to follow? So think about, what do you want your leader to look like, and then start taking those steps to become that leader yourself.
So when I typed up that last slide, it made me think of this quote. Like Rebecca said, you need to be influenced yourself to be able to influence other people. You can't stand up and say, hey, you need to set goals and achieve your things if you're not doing those things yourself. Because leaders lead from the front, and you're not going to be able to influence other people if you can't even influence yourself enough to be disciplined to do those things. But when I read this quote, I felt like it really, really aligned with this. So I'm just going to read it to y'all, even though you can read it. But it says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us, and it is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. So what that means to me is, if you are doing the things and fearlessly chasing down your goals and leading from the front and leading by example, you're automatically giving people permission to do the same thing. It's like when everybody's scared to say something, but they're all thinking it. And the second somebody says it, everybody's like, okay, I can say something too, because we're all in this together. You know what I mean? That person being brave gives me permission to be brave. And so it's the same in leadership. You stepping up and leading from the front gives other people permission to lead just like you are.
So how do we set a clear vision? Is first, you got to decide where you want to go. and where you need to be and what steps you need to take to get there. And that's where having a good mentor in your life with this business can come in handy, because if you're not sure where you need to be or how to get there, there are people to ask. And we have an amazing community. Hannah's an awesome leader, and we have amazing leaders on our team that we can turn to. So how do we set our clear vision is decide where do we want to be, and then how are we going to get there?
So when I'm full screen, I can't see when people are in the waiting room. So I'm just going to go to small screen. Everybody's going to see it like this, if that's okay.
That's great.
Okay. So we're going to talk, yes, how about ways to go to set these like goals and steps into action. So the first place we are going to start is with joy. If you begin and start from a place of joy, like if I'm not headed towards joy, if my goals aren't bringing me towards joy, if I'm doing things that aren't bringing me joy, what am I even doing it for? What am I working towards? Like when, hang on one second. Okay, sorry. Oh my gosh, things are happening. Okay, so like, why would I be doing things that aren't bringing me joy? Why would I be working towards things that are just making me upset and stressed? So I want everybody to think about things that bring you joy. So I just wrote down a lot that bring me joy. So faith, family, friends, eating good food, going exploring on adventures, being impactful for other people, being in nature, giving back, helping others, laying in the sun in the backyard with my kids, wine. I like wine, and I love flowers, all things beautiful. Those things bring me joy. And it's just a super fun activity to think about what brings you joy. So I would encourage you guys, since everybody brought notebooks, we don't need to take time necessarily right now, but I would encourage you to write down the things that bring you joy. Because even when I think about them, it makes me grin. It fills me up when I write them down every morning. It just puts me in this absolute state of gratitude. And that just goes to show how powerful your mind actually is, because if you're feeling stressed, or if you're feeling fearful, or if you're feeling inadequate or unworthy, if you focus on the things that bring you joy, it's going to completely shift your mindset and shift your thinking. So it's not only learning to take your thoughts captive, it's helping fill your brain with things that actually like are nourishing and blessing you than something that's stressing you out. No, I don't know what to do. Okay.
Okay, so belief. This is a huge piece of the puzzle when it comes to building a Young Living business and being successful in network marketing. So if you don't believe you can make it the trip, you'll never start driving. So when you start out on a trip or a vacation, you know where you're going. And so you pack what you know you need, you bring everything with you, and then you hit the road. And the same as with Young Living and building a business is, if you actually don't think you can make that next rank, you actually might not take those steps that you need to take to get there. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you are worthy. And one key thing here that stands out to me is we can't let words that other people have spoken over us define us, because their words are not true, their words are not accurate, and they don't have an accurate perception of who we are. So anytime we hear someone say things or define us, they're not our truth. And so we all have greatness inside of us. We were all created and designed for a purpose. And let's not let other people's words or our own limiting beliefs about ourselves hold us back, because there are great things that we can each accomplish in this world. And so I do want you to repeat after me. You don't have to unmute your mic, but say this to yourself and say this every day. And if you find this is something that's actually hard to say, then definitely say it to yourself a couple times a day, because this is some truth. So I am worthy. If other people have done it, I can do it too. So if other people have made it to Royal Crown Diamond, there's a way, and we can do it too. So choose some belief statements to say over yourself every day. Whether it's when you first wake up in the morning or when you're having those challenging moments, say, I am worthy. I can do this. I'm going to do this. One thing I say to myself is, oh, I'm going to do this. I am a Royal Crown Diamond. And so, we have to have that belief. That belief actually gives us the excitement and the energy to keep going, which is really key. So your belief holds the power. So like I said, that knowing I can do this gives me the energy to do it. And so it's not putting the cart before the horse, but it's putting the cart behind the horse and hooking it up and just making it go. So when you believe it's inevitable, the work becomes worth it. And it is definitely going to be worth it.
Okay, so I want to talk about your mind, because your mind is a powerful, powerful, powerful thing. I always tell the kids, I don't even know if I said this to you guys before. I feel like I did. But that it's like a garden, and it doesn't care what you plant in it. It's going to grow whatever you plant. And so if you plant fear and worry and anxiety and negativity, that's what's going to grow, because it's literally fertile soil. And if you plant positivity and love and kindness and generosity and focus and winning and all these things, that's what it's going to grow. And so we want to talk about a little bit about how it begins in your mind. So I want you guys to imagine what your life is going to look like 5 years from now. What kind of person are you? What kind of energy do you walk in the room with? I always think about that. When I'm at an event or at convention or something, I'll literally stand outside of a room. I won't shake my hands because people will be around, but in my head, I'm shaking my hands and I'm like, I'm going to walk in this room like a royal. I'm going to stomp around these grounds like I'm a royal, and I am going to love people like I'm a royal. And so whenever I go somewhere, I enter the room with that type of mindset, just because it changes the way that I carry myself. So I want you to think, what kind of energy are you going to enter the room with 5 years from now? Where are you living? What kind of car do you drive? Do you live by mountains or river or city? What color is the flooring in your house? How are you giving back to others? What kind of things do you smell around you right now? Like, is it coffee? Is it food? Is it outside in the forest? Like, is somebody cooking your favorite meal? Who is with you? So I want you just to literally picture yourself in 5 years, who you are, the personality you have, who's with you, where you are, and as concise as like what you smell, like what color the flooring is. If you can include all of the senses in this vision, the better. And I want you to get it so real that it feels real in your spirit. And then you have to believe that that's possible for you, because the faster you can let go of limiting beliefs, the better. Our dad owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. We are like, we can have anything that we actually put our minds to. And it's literally just our limiting beliefs that hold us from these things. And so daily affirmations are a really great way to like flex that muscle and that exercise, because it's an exercise. You need to take your thoughts captive on the daily, and the more that you can flex that muscle, the better. So if you can do daily affirmations about yourself, like if you want to be a Royal Crown Diamond, I am a Royal Crown Diamond. I live, on a lake. I have a house made out of stone. Like just all the things that you want, say those things about who you want to be like. I enter a room with like grace and clarity and kindness and warmth, and just however you want to present yourself, say those things to yourself. And I want you to get excited about them, because it actually brings your vibration and your energy level to the level that you already have achieved them. So how everything vibrates, plants vibrate, people vibrate, like you can raise your vibration to be at a point of success. And so if you think these things in your mind, flexing those muscles daily, it helps raise that vibration and raise that positive energy so that it just bubbles up inside of you. So once you have all those things like written down, you start with your joy, you start with your belief, you start actually writing down things that you want for your future. then we need to start strategizing. What steps can we take towards these goals? How can you become that person that you want to become? So once we have a plan and a vision, then we know how we can move forward and take action to actually see these things come to fruition. Oops.
So a great way to help see these things come to fruition is to write it all down. So one way that you bring your goals from your mind to the physical is writing it down. Take some time and decide what your goals are. Write it out. And when you write it out, you're bringing it into reality. So it's like the guy who first decided or dreamed up the first car. You know, it was in his heart, it was in his mind. He had all the picture, the sounds, everything in his mind, and then he drew it out on paper. And then it became a reality. So that's the same for you. What are your goals? Let's draw them out. Let's sketch them out. And that helps bring them into reality. And don't set your goals based on your current reality. Set your goals high. So set your goals high and then know that you're going to grow into those goals. And it helps you grow. You will become a different person. And that's where personal development goes hand in hand with this, because it helps you grow in all the right ways to reach those goals. And one thing, Jennifer and I listened to John Maxwell this week, and he talked about the comfort zone. And this is something that I've been challenged with myself lately is, and one thing John said was, everything we want is outside of our comfort zone. Otherwise, we'd already have it. So the next rank, the next goal is outside of our comfort zone. And this is how you grow your comfort zone, is those moments where you feel uncomfortable, those moments where you start to feel tension and pressure. Don't pull back, but press in. Take one more step forward in those moments where you want to pull back. And I think you'll actually surprise yourself by how it actually goes. I think we often imagine it's going to go worse than we think, but I think honestly, a lot of times it can go better than we think. Yes, like labor. Press into that, lean into that. You will birth something amazing. So this is a Harvard study. It says that you're 45% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down, which is that's a high statistic. And think of your goals, write them down. What is your next rank that you're working towards? What is that leg you need to grow? What is your ultimate goal? Write it down. And that's actually something I have started doing. And so I wrote on my fridge, I will hit silver by July 31st. I will earn these other goals. And it's amazing just to see how they actually fall into place when you write them down. And I think that when we write them down, we read them, we see them, put it somewhere you're going to read it every day, whether it's on your fridge or on your mirror or in a note on your phone, a way that you're going to be able to read what your goals are. So just like the guy who had designed the car, when you have it in your mind, it's spiritual. And when you write it down, it becomes physical. And then you're able to take the actions, the system for success, which is the key. If we know where we want to go, we know the steps to get to that destination.
I wanted to add to that. I had heard somebody say that like if you write things down, you're 45% more likely to achieve your goals. And she said, imagine, like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. So don't technically imagine this, but if you were given, like, I don't even know how to say it. If the doctor told you you had like 0% chance of survival for some reason, but if you do these things, you'll have a 45% chance of living. Like 1,000%, you're going to do all those things that he said because you want those odds. You want to find success. You want to continue living on planet Earth. And so you're going to take all those steps and you're going to do them. And so that's the same with our goals. If you write them down, you're 45% more likely to achieve them. So I even find, like personally for me, to start doing this was hard. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what to write. I didn't feel worthy of writing down these things, but you need to do it anyway. You're going to do the things that the doctor said anyway, because you want it to happen. So it doesn't matter if you're scared. Doesn't matter if you don't feel worthy. Write them out anyway, because that's going to up your chances by 45%. So I will take those odds. Okay, so one thing I want to talk about too, when you're writing down your value, or not your values, your goals, is your core values. So if you've never thought about your core values before, it's just 5 things that really you want enveloping your life and weaved throughout your life now and in your future goals, throughout your Young Living teams, throughout your family, just things that are of value to you. And you can actually Google core values and find even just lists and samples of things if you need different ideas. These are some that I wrote down that are some of value to me. I feel like I could write way more than 5 things. It's hard to hone in, but I wrote fun. I love having fun. I love our team having fun. And if somebody is doing something that's fun, I'm there for it. Community is huge for us and our team. I want to create a sense of community and camaraderie together. Empathy is so important. I want people to, be able to empathize with others. I want people to be authentic, honesty, and to be optimistic. People, like, I always try to wear my positive pants. I would love it if everybody wore their positive pants. And like, those are just core values to me. And so when you write down your goals, try to include your core values so that whatever things you are working towards, those things are weaved all throughout it.
All right. So goals, we all need them. And here are 4 aspects of goal setting. So here's some examples. Philanthrop, oh my goodness. I'm not even gonna say it.
Philanthropic?
Yes, thank you. That's hilarious. So goals, I donate to what charity? So even think about as when we're further down the road as leaders with Young Living, as a Royal Crown Diamond, what charities do you want to give to? How much do you want to be able to give? And it's important what you want that to look like at Royal Crown Diamond. It's important to start implementing those things now, building those habits now. So who do we want to be able to support? What missions, what charities? Process goals. I do personal development daily. We have to think about what do we need to do to reach these goals. We speak on 2 calls a week. We create education daily. So in the business, it's going to look a little bit different for everyone. Everybody's going to have their own little niche. Everybody's going to have the part of the business that comes more naturally to them, and follow that lead. Whatever comes more naturally to you, go that way. So for me, I love to research and then do classes and keep learning and studying. And that may not be your favorite part. So find what your favorite part is and go with that. What is your results goal? I want to make how much a year? How much a month? And we can look at the income disclosure statement with Young Living and see what ranks make what income. And I know for me, I want Royal Crown Diamond income. I am willing to set those goals. I'm willing to put in the effort and the time it's going to take to achieve those goals. And so for growth goals, what can we do every day to help us become the best version of ourselves we can become? And I know for me, that's personal development. And I try to listen to podcasts. I'm constantly listening to audiobooks. And just like Hannah said, what seeds are you planting in your life? Whatever they are, they're going to grow, whether they're good seeds or not good seeds. So we want good, productive seeds in our lives. And so decide, do you like the podcast? Do you like audiobooks? How can you feed yourself? How can you grow personally and make those things happen? And so they say that your business grows as much as you do. So if you feel like you're kind of stuck somewhere, there might be something that you need to learn or an area that you need to grow in order to reach that next goal.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about how different ways that you can create your vision. And it's important that you look at this every single day. So I'm just going to give examples of ways to do so. First things first, you need to make sure that your vision aligns with your core values. So, if generosity is one of them, then make sure that in your vision, somewhere you're being generous. If one of your core values is family, then make sure in your vision that you write down that you are with your family, or you are helping your family, or something involved with your core values, and that all 4 of your goal categories are represented. So like Rebecca said, philanthropic, process, results, growth, make sure that those are in there. So like every day I listen to podcasts while I'm mowing the lawn in my dream home, while my children are running and playing. Like, just make sure that as you put it out there, it's including all 4 of these things. So some different ways that you can actually create your vision and bring it to life is you can make vision boards, which are super fun, where you, if nobody's made a vision board before, you just literally rip up magazines, find words that are inspiring to you, pictures that are motivating, and glue it all together. Mine's in my room on my wall. Otherwise, I would go get it. It's literally right by my bed. So I see it when I wake up every morning. And I made it one night with Marie. So you just have to fill it with things that you love. Make sure that you're going to see it all the time so that it's at the forefront of your thoughts. Another thing you can do is make a mind movie. So it's like a vision board, but it's in video form. So if you use like iMovie or Video Shop or some video editing program, where you can take all the pieces and words and things that you would glue on a vision board and make it into a multimedia event, which even saying that makes me think of the song of the Cebu on VeggieTales when they're like, multimedia event. But anyway, so putting all these things into like a movie and put it to music, so that every time you hear whatever song you put it to, you're subconsciously going to play your movie in your head. So if you hear the song on the radio, you're like, oh yeah, my dream home, and I'm like buying this single mama car, and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. So every time you even hear that song, it starts replaying all your goals for you in your head. So another way you can create vision is to meditate, to actually sit and visualize your dream every morning. And you get bonus points if you can attach feelings to that, like you've already achieved it, which is kind of like the law of attraction. Just like what you focus on expands, and where focus goes, energy flows. And so if you can sit and imagine and focus on those things, then it helps create that energy, like you've already achieved those things. Or you can write your vision out as a story. It can be a novel. You can write it out as a book. That's how I actually do it. I'll write it out every morning. I write it in present tense as if I've already achieved it. And I rewrite it every morning because it changes all the time. So you can make it fun. You can do it however you want. You can even just write point form of your goals. You can make a multimedia event. You can make a vision board. It's so fun to actually get together with a bunch of women and just have a vision board making night. It's like crafting class when you're in grade 5, only with adults, and it's so fun. So you can do it however you want, but it just really helps to drive it home and to make sure that you're actually participating in it every day. Like the meditating one, if you do that every morning, if you're like getting in the feel of actually accomplishing these things, then if you're doing that first thing in the morning, you're going to carry out your whole day like that. You know how some mornings you just like sleep in and things aren't right, or you ran out of coffee and you didn't notice before you went to bed, and just all these things, and then it sets your day wrong. Whereas if you start your morning visualizing these things, or reading your like story you wrote, or listening to whatever song that goes with your mind movie, or like, it starts your day off on the right foot. It sets you in the winning mindset. And so it's really important to visit these things as soon as you wake up first thing in the morning, because it's going to start your day off on the right foot.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that has changed for me since Young Living and doing the business, is starting my day out for myself and by myself, and doing the things that are important to me, starting my day out on the right foot. And one thing I like that I thought of when Hannah was talking through this was, how about write yourself a letter as a Royal Crown Diamond? Write your letter to the star or the senior star that you are, and what words of encouragement would you give yourself? Or describe what life is like as Royal Crown Diamond to this distributor or star or Senior Star, wherever you're at. And I think that could be a fun way to build towards the goals and what you want this vision to look like for yourself and for your family. Okay, so
Oh, sorry.
system setting for success. So lots of people have goals and dreams, but what will set you apart is doing the things every day, not just when you feel like it. And that's one key to gaining momentum is, and Richard Brooks said this once, he's like, you know, I journal every day because that's what I do. I'm a person who journals. So journal every day. Or I'm a person who exercises every day. So don't let excuses and other things cloud up our schedule so we don't have time to do those things that are actually important to us. So, and one key to momentum and consistency is doing it every day, whether we feel like it or not. And I know we all have days where we feel like it and we hit it like a boss, which is awesome. But then there's days where we really don't feel like it. We'd rather just watch a movie or take a nap. And I'm talking to myself here. And we need to keep pushing ourselves to reach those goals. So do you wake up and say, what should I do today? Or do you already know what you need to do and why? So one good way to wake up in a productive way is before you even go to bed is know what your priorities are for the next day. So they say to write down 3 things the night before that you want to accomplish the next day and make that a priority. The things that are important to you should get the right amount of time in your day. And I know it's really easy to let other responsibilities filter into our time schedules, but how does that leave us feeling at the end of the day when we didn't take the time to do those things that actually really, really matter to us? There was this picture of a vase. Imagine a vase, and your priorities are the golf balls. Okay, we've got golf balls and we've got pebbles. So if you have three to 5 things that you're like, these are my priorities today. I really want to do my journaling. I need to make some phone calls. I need to get this thing done. Those are the golf balls. It's really important to put them in the vase first, and then you can put all the pebbles in around them, which would maybe be do the dishes, get the groceries, mop the floor, change the laundry, those kinds of things, because those household things don't ever go away. They are always there. I think we all know that. Let's try not to get discouraged on that point. But if we can get those things that are really important to us done first and then put the pebbles into our vase, it's going to fit. But if we put the pebbles in first, there's no guarantee that your golf balls are going to fit in that vase after that. And so for me, I had to take some time and decide what are my priorities. Like Hannah had said, what are the core values that are important to me? What are the core values that are important to you? I think it's key to make sure we get those things done first and then try and filter in all those other things as well. And being consistent. How consistent are you on moving the needle on things that actually matter? I know for me, I feel I can, when I go to bed at night and I've actually done the things that matter to me, that's more rewarding than getting all those other little things done and not completing the things that are important to me. So it's important to be honest with yourself. The core values have to be yours, your own. They can't be other people's. Can't be your friends, they can't be your spouses, they can't be your kids. They have to be your own core values. And are we prioritizing those core values, our priorities? Because it's important to do that. And one thing, this is how I do that. I start my day and I write down those 3 things that are important to me to do. And I look at my time. I'm like, okay, how much time do I have? So I have an hour. Do I have time to get my priorities done now and then filter in a few things? Or do I have time to actually do a few things before I hit my priorities? So that's a kind of a time management thing I've learned through different personal developments is, you know, do I have to load my dishwasher before I go do these other things? No, I don't. I have to make that phone call, then I can load my dishwasher. So for me, I can be a bit of a perfectionist about how my floors look or how my kitchen looks. And so I've actually had to stretch myself in that way to let those things rest a little bit while I actually focus on those core values that are really priorities for me in my life. And so when you're assessing what your core values are and what your priorities are, I think you'll find it very rewarding to make sure you allot the right amount of time for those things every day. So whether that's in your personal development, or whether that's in your business building, or whether that's in relationships or your finances, like there's so many areas of life that we're trying to balance all at the same time, that it's key to pick a couple to really focus on and to give your priorities to. So another key thing is figuring out which avenues of personal development work for you. So while you're doing those dishes, what can you be doing? Or while you're soaking in the tub, what can we be doing? Or driving the car, doing errands. And we're gonna get to that shortly as well.
Oh, are you ready for me? I'm sorry. She wants ice cream. I was like, ask Dad, but she doesn't want to.
Mommy, watch, I'm not here. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, she's gone. Okay, so I want to talk about the daily dozen, which is just a dozen things for you guys to write out so that you can like do every single day to slowly work towards becoming your best self. She's just going to leave all the doors open everywhere she goes. Okay, so if you can write down 12 things that you can do every day to become your best self, whether that's literally chores, whether it's personal development things, whatever you need to do. Like, I never used to make my bed. I make my bed now every single day as soon as we wake up, because that gets me in the mindset of accomplishing things and of winning. So I start my day like accomplishing things, winning. As soon as I go into my bed at nighttime, it's made. So I was like, yeah, accomplishing, winning. And so if you can write down 12 things that you can do every day to work towards becoming your best self, whatever those look like, listening to podcasts, or like reading personal development books, or sending like handwritten notes to people, and just like all these different things, whatever you need to do, exercise or eating healthy, and can't really think of other things. But anyway, so I want you to imagine yourself doing these things every single solitary day. Who would you be in 5 years if you do them? And who would you be if you don't? Before I started Young Living, I didn't, like, I'd heard of the phrase personal development, but I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that actually entailed. And I can tell you that I am a completely different person than when I started Young Living, just because I've learned to grow and develop myself. And I know that even 3.5 years in, I am completely different than I was. My mindset's different. My focus is different. My activities, my friend circle, everything is different, because I've been taking the steps to grow and develop into the best version of myself. So I want you to think too, who are you going to be if you don't do those things? Where are you going to be? What is your life going to look like? And when I think about that, like before I started growing and developing myself, if I was in that place 5 years from now, that would probably be a pretty unhappy place with a lot of negativity and a lot of gossip and quarrels and things, and like just not a good place. So it kind of helps me reaffirm if I'm like, okay, I want to be here in 5 years. I don't want to be over here. So I'm going to do these daily dozen of things to get me going this way, because this is what's going to bring me joy. So these are things that you can do to ignite the compound effect. And I think we've talked about that before too. Oh, she got the ice cream. Can you shut these doors, Love Bug? Thank you. Darren Hardy talks about the compound effect, and that's actually something Wade and I say to each other all the time, because we'll be eating like a bag of like candy or something, and we'll just keep eating, and we're like, compound effect, you need to hold back on that candy, just because what you do daily compounds. Like the story of the compounding penny. If you double a penny every single day, by the end of the month you have $1 million. And it's just showing the power of compounding. If you eat a burger every night before bed, you're going to gain weight. If you exercise every morning, you're going to get fit. It just compounds, something that has to be consistently done every single day. So in doing the daily dozen, a great way to make sure you're getting everything in is habit stacking. So that's if you have a daily habit that you're going to do regardless, so like brushing your teeth, I hope everybody on this call brushes their teeth multiple times a day even. And so while you're brushing your teeth, you can use that as time to do your affirmations or to meditate or to even text people. I always Facebook message people while I blow dry my hair. I just use a diffuser, so I just hold it like this and then Facebook message people. And so if you can learn to habit stack, then it'll help you be more productive. Like if I get on Facebook sometimes, I will get in that scroll hole, and it is a long, wasteful space, place. And so if you can, every time you open social media, before you start going down that scroll hole, make sure that you reach out to 2 new people that aren't on your oily team, just to have conversation and build relationship. So open Facebook, reach out to 2 people, then you can scroll hole for a sec if you really need to. I can't even think like what else. Even if exercising is on your daily dozen, but you don't necessarily have time to exercise, maybe every time you walk to the fridge, you do it doing lunges. You'll look like a ridiculous maniac, but that's the concept of habit stacking. If there's something that you do consistently every day, like brushing your teeth and showering and blow drying your hair, if you can stack other habits on top of that, it's going to make your time much more like effective and useful. Anyway, okay. And so your daily dozen should include something of impact, something of mastery that you're going to work towards getting better at, your health, your finances, and they don't have to be in that order, of course. It's whatever is most important to you. So if mastery is most important to you, then while you're walking your dog, maybe if you want to be like a great orator or a speaker one day, then you can like talk to your dogs while you're walking them. Just as long as you're doing your daily dozen that includes those things that are going to improve your well-being, your presence, your personality. So impact, mastery, health, and finances. Hope that makes sense to everybody.
So here's some examples of what some habit stacking can be and some good ideas of where to get started with that. I know for me, if I think about what do I want my life to look like in 5 years, I don't want it to look like the same it does right now. You know, I want to have achieved some goals. I want to be a different person. And I've been doing the Young Living business over 2 years now, and I am not the same person who started. I am in a much better place. And I hope that in 5 years, through core values and beliefs and my habits, that I'm going to be even in a better place, and which is amazing and so encouraging. And it comes down to being intentional with our time and our decisions, making sure we're not on autopilot all day long, just going from A to B and doing what we do every day. No, we got to wake up and we got to make intentional decisions to make some changes. So when you have your morning coffee, it's a good time to do your journaling or some prayer or meditation, or figure out what those core values are. When you're exercising, throw on a podcast or listening to an audiobook. And one kind of cool thing as well, most podcasts are free and they're fabulous, but as business builders, if you subscribe to Audible and you get an audiobook every month, that's a business write-off. So that's a good way to invest in yourself and in your business. When you drink in your water, take your supplements. And I don't know if you're the type of person, I know for me, some days I'm good at drinking my water and some days I'm not, but writing it down is going to help me make sure I drink my water. Checking your virtual office every day is really key to be watching what's happening, who maybe needs a reach out, what needs some attention, or maybe someone's ER order errored. So it's really a good habit to check into that virtual office every day and just take a peek at what's happening. When you open social media, before you start scrolling, make sure you message 2 people. 2 people not on your team, 2 people that you want to invest in a relationship with, 2 people you want to just touch base with and build relationship. And then follow up with prospects or new members. Check in with them, see how they're doing. And these are just examples. These may not be the right ones for you, but I think you'll know what the right ones are for you. And when you actually start looking for ways to habit stack, you're going to find ways to fit those podcasts in, or messaging, like Hannah said, message while you're blow drying your hair. That's actually, when I'm getting ready in the bathroom, is a great time to send Marco Polos to people, because I'm multitasking. I'm listening to podcasts and audiobooks on my walks and my bike rides. And think about how much more productive we can be in our day when we stack our habits.
Yeah, like doing lunges on your way to the fridge. That was a terrible,
Exactly.
terrible example, but still. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about consistency. So in the same way that we were talking about the compound effect, greatness is built every day, but not in a day. Like Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes consistency over time and every single solitary day. I started running with my sister probably I feel like when COVID started, we really started running, and we slowly would work up to it. So we ran for 30 seconds and we'd walk for a minute and do that 10 times. And then we started running for a minute and we'd walk for 30 seconds. And then we did that 10 times. And then we worked our way up so that we were running 30 minutes at a time. Just daily compounding and consistency allowed us to push ourselves and grow in that way. I have not gone for a run in weeks, and I am very willing to bet that I can't go 30 minutes anymore without stopping, because I stopped that consistency. And in the same way, you can have momentum in your goals and working towards them, but if you stop, it's like stopping that momentum. Like a train takes a long time to get moving. It's slow and it's like chugga, 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 chugga. And then it picks up its speed, and then you can put brick walls in front of it and it's going to blast through them because it has that momentum. You cannot stop a moving train. But if a train is stopped, it takes forever to get it started again. And so if you consistently every single day take these actions, you can run through brick walls essentially. But if you stop getting it started up again, you have to do the same and have the same discipline and working every single solitary day to get that speed and that momentum built back up. So greatness is built every day, but not in a day. It takes time. So I think Rebecca actually mentioned this already, but a great way to do this is make a list before bed of the things you need to accomplish the next day and circle the 3 that are most important. So I need to do laundry. I need to do dishes. I need to do a Facebook Live. I need to make a post about an essential oil. I need to reach out to these people. I need to go grocery shopping, home things, work things, social things, everything. You can write down what you need to do and circle the 3 that are most important and get those 3 things done first thing in the morning. Even if your house is a mess, like she said, even if the laundry is put away or not put away, which mine is not, do those top 3 things, because when you knock something off the list, you can celebrate it and celebrate those wins. And it's the same thing like setting your goals and feeling it. That celebration is like putting you in the mindset of winning. Like, yes, I made my bed. Yes, I reached out to all the people on my list. When you celebrate small wins, your brain actually doesn't know the difference. Your brain can't differentiate between a small win and a big win. And so it just knows that you're crushing your goals and that you're winning. So even if you celebrate the small things, it puts your brain into the mindset of success and of winning and accomplishing your goals. And then that becomes habitual for you because you've planted those seeds in your brain. So let's go out, you guys, write down our goals, set our vision, set up all these systems and steps that we can take to get there and achieve our dreams. Yeah. Oh, you're muted.
Okay, so I'm just going to read this to you. So cast your vision for the future, participate in the process daily, build on your momentum, share your results, and encourage others to do the same. With your every success, no matter how small that might be, celebrate, then immediately recommit to your vision. And, you know, it's fun to be encouraged along the way, it's fun to encourage other people, and it's okay to encourage yourself and celebrate the things that you accomplish and that you achieve. When you hit those goals, celebrate. That is exciting. And, you know, this is a fun journey. A key is to enjoy the journey. You know, not every day will be easy, but, you know, one step in front of the other, one goal leads to the next. And one key is just to enjoy the journey. And one day we'll look back and say, oh, I remember when, you know, had just hit senior star, or right when I hit executive, you know. And, you know, it's important not to despise small beginnings, but to know that we're going to collect along the way all the things we need to hit that next rank and to achieve that next goal. So just keep going and try and have fun. This is a journey. This is your life, and you get to live it. You get to make the decisions you want to make and set those goals and those priorities, and then go right after them.
When Rebecca just said that, it made me think of like the second slide, or I'm not sure what it was, when she was basically just spanking us and telling us that where we're at is because of our choices and our mindset. I feel like there's incredible power in that. Like, if your mindset and your thinking has gotten you to where you are now, that means that it has the power to get you to where you want to go. Like, if I have a negative mindset and I'm living a negative life, that means that if I shift my mindset to positive, I can shift and change my life. And there's so much power in realizing that there is like power in your thoughts and power in your words. There is life and death in your tongue, and words that you say actually are going to determine the outcome and the trajectory of your life. And so if our thoughts and our feelings and our words have gotten us where we are, then if we shift our thoughts and our feelings and our words, then it can get us to where we want to be. So I don't know where I was going with that. Just as soon as she said that, it made me think of that. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is a Les Brown video, because Hannah loves her Les Brown. And I literally listen to Les Brown daily, along with John Maxwell daily and Jesse Lee Ward daily. And they're all just part of my compound effect, personal growth, things that I do daily. Anyway, it's just like not even 2 minutes, but it really fits in with what we were talking about this evening. And he just brings such heat and energy when he speaks. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Let me know if you can hear it. I think it should be okay. You hear it? No. Okay. I wonder why.
So when you screen share, you have to share the computer audio.
How do I do that, Becca?
You might want to stop screen share. Actually, go up to the top.
Yeah.
To the green bar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see where to share computer audio?
Oh, yes. Oh, my gracious. That's embarrassing. Okay. Sorry, friends. Give me a thumbs up, Becca, if you can hear this.
So that brings me to the final step, that it's necessary for us to begin to look at the future and know that it's possible that we can have our dream. Yes, it is. Other people have done it, then we can do it. We fail a lot of times. Well, a lot of other folks failed, and eventually they came back and they succeeded. So it's possible we can have what we want. And we know that we want to get it. It's necessary that we align ourselves with people that think like we do. It's necessary we get negative, do-nothing people out of our lives. It's necessary we never stop learning and growing and developing ourselves. It's necessary that we never give up. We know that it's you, it's me. It's being responsible for our stuff and deciding that we're going to keep on keeping on, that we're going to find a way to win or find a way to make it happen. And we know it's hard. It's not going to be a picnic. And we've all had experiences where we were working on something and we knew it was possible. And we did those things that were necessary to bring it into reality. We took the responsibility to make it happen. Other people couldn't see it. A lot of people didn't believe it. You were attacked. You were criticized. People were opposing you, but you kept on doing it. It was hard, it was rough, it was difficult, but to you it was worth it. And eventually you got to a level, you know, can nothing stop me now. I'm on the move. Don't stop running toward your dream.
I love Les Brown. Everybody can hear me now, right? The audio hasn't shifted. Okay. That even like made me cry a little bit. I literally watch that video all the time. But everything that he said, I feel like just drives these points home. Like our future, our goals, all these things is our responsibility. We can do the things and make the changes to see them come to fruition. And they not only affect us, because I'm very yellow and I always have this like mindset of other people, it makes me think of all the other people that are yet to be impacted as well. Like not just casting vision for our own family. There's a lot of other people included in this. For example, I didn't know a few of you before this even started. And had I not like caught that vision and been working towards these things, I wouldn't have a relationship with you like I do now. And I feel like that continues on. Like there are thousands of people that you guys have yet to reach and have yet to impact and build relationships with, because like this business is all about people and helping people and serving people, and other people's blessings have yet to come to them. Other people's goal setting, they might not even know how to do that yet, because I didn't know how to do it before Young Living. And so those things might be hinging on you and your consistency to do your daily dozen, to get to your goals, is going to help other people achieve their goals and reach other people that might need it too. And I just feel like there's this huge ripple effect of like, it's not just us. This isn't just about us. It's about all those people that we have yet to impact and bless and serve. And it keeps going, and it just blows my mind. It's such a gift, but at the same time, it leaves me with such a sense of responsibility to keep going. And I feel like that's a huge part of why you need to set goals, because that's why you keep going, because I want to reach more people, because I want to help other people find these freedoms. That's what keeps me going. And so I just want to encourage you guys to do the same, to catch hold of those visions, to find those daily activities to help you reach that. And then we can reach so many more people and bless so many more people and serve so many more people. The end.
So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We love spending time with you. We love seeing your beautiful faces and hearing your voices here tonight. And just by you being here shows us that you're investing into yourself, and that, you know, you're interested in growing yourself and your business. And so we just want to thank you for participating and jumping in on this tonight. And we're excited to grow with you. We are growing along as we go, and this is a fun, exciting thing to be a part of. And so yes, thank you guys so much for joining us here tonight.